Picture this. You open your credit card app to check your balance, and right there at the bottom, it shows your minimum payment. You pay it, like you do every month, and a week later you check the balance again. It barely moved. Maybe it dropped by $20. And you start doing the math in your head. At this rate, how long is this actually going to take? 2 years? 5 years? Longer? And that number scares you enough that you almost close the app just to stop thinking about it. If that's you, if you've ever felt like credit card debt is something that just quietly follows you around no matter how responsible you try to be, this video is for you. Because we're going to build a real plan to pay it off in 90 days, and yes, even if you don't have a huge income, even if you're thinking, Tahira, there's no way I can pay this off that fast. Here's the thing, most people don't fail at paying off debt because of their income. They fail because of how they're attacking it. My name is Tahira. If you're someone who's tired of watching your balance barely move, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. Minimum payments are designed to keep you in debt as long as possible, not to help you get out of it. I know that sounds harsh, but let's look at the actual math. Say you have $5,000 on a credit card with a 24% interest rate, and you only make the minimum payment each month, which is usually around 2% of the balance. At that pace, it would take you over 15 years to pay it off, and you'd end up paying more than $5,000 just in interest, on top of the original $5,000 you borrowed. That's not a typo. You'd essentially pay for the same debt twice. Here's what most people don't realize. Minimum payments are calculated specifically to maximize how long you stay in debt, because interest is how credit card companies make money. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed, just not in your favor. So how do you actually break out of this in 90 days? Let's walk through the plan. Step 1, get the real number. Before anything else, write down every card you have, the balance on each one, the interest rate on each one, and the minimum payment on each one. Most people avoid this step because it feels overwhelming, but here's the truth. Vague anxiety about debt is worse than a specific number. Once you know exactly what you're dealing with, it stops being a scary, shapeless thing and becomes a solvable math problem. Step 2, pick one method and commit. Don't split your attention. There are two popular approaches. The debt avalanche, where you attack the card with the highest interest rate first while making minimums on the rest, and the debt snowball, where you attack the smallest balance first for quick psychological wins. Let's compare them with real numbers. Say you have two cards, one with an $800 balance at 18% interest, and one with a $3,000 balance at 26% interest. With the Avalanche method, you'd throw every extra dollar at the 26% card first, since it's costing you the most in interest every single month, even though it's the bigger balance. Mathematically, this saves you the most money overall. With the Snowball method, you'd attack the smaller $800 card first, because paying it off completely in a matter of weeks gives you a fast psychological win, even though the math technically costs you a bit more in total interest. Neither approach is wrong. Here's my honest advice. The best method is the one you'll actually stick with for 90 days straight. If quick wins keep you motivated, use the Snowball. If you're purely numbers-driven, use the Avalanche. Just pick one and stop splitting small extra payments evenly across every card, because that's the slowest possible way to make progress. It feels productive, but barely moves either balance. Step 3, free up extra payment capacity, because minimum payments alone won't get you there in 90 days. This means two things happening at once. First, cut aggressively but temporarily. For 90 days only, pause every non-essential subscription, cook at home more, sell a few unused items. This doesn't have to be your forever lifestyle, it's a sprint. Second, find one temporary income boost, extra shifts, a weekend gig, selling things you don't need. Even an extra $300 to $500 a month redirected entirely toward your target card dramatically speeds up the timeline. Step 4, automate the extra payment the moment money lands. Don't wait until the end of the month. Just like we talked about in the emergency fund video, money you don't see, you don't spend. Set up an automatic extra payment toward your target debt right when your paycheck or side income hits your account, before it has a chance to blend into your regular spending. Step 5. Protect the progress you're making. This is the step almost everyone skips. If you pay down $800 on a card and then put $200 of new charges on it that same month, you're not actually making progress, you're just running in place. For these 90 days, treat your Target card as untouchable for new purchases. If a real emergency comes up, use cash or your emergency fund first, not the card you're trying to eliminate. Let me tell you about someone I'll call Sana. Sana had $4,200 spread across 2 credit cards, and for over a year, she'd only ever made minimum payments, watching the balance barely move month after month, which left her feeling like debt was just a permanent part of her life, something she'd carry around indefinitely. She decided to try the 90-day approach. First, she wrote down the real numbers, which was uncomfortable but clarifying, seeing both balances and interest rates side by side for the first time in months. She chose the Avalanche method and focused every extra dollar on her highest interest card, a 27% card carrying $2,600 of her total balance. She paused 3 subscriptions she barely used, sold an old laptop and a bike she never rode anymore, and picked up a few extra shifts at her job for 2 months. That freed up roughly $420 a month in extra payments, which she automated the day her paycheck arrived. She also made a strict rule: no new charges on either card during those 90 days, even when it was tempting during a couple of tight weeks. By day 90, Sana had paid off her highest interest card completely and cut nearly $2,000 off her total debt. She didn't earn some huge windfall. She just stopped spreading her effort thin and attacked with focus for a defined period of time. Now, you might be thinking, but interest rates are so high, doesn't that make this impossible in just 90 days? High interest rates make debt grow faster if you ignore it, but they don't make a focused 90-day sprint impossible. They make it more urgent. The faster you attack the highest rate debt specifically, the less that interest rate gets to work against you. You might also be thinking, what if I need that extra money for an emergency instead? This is exactly why step 1 in a lot of our other videos is building even a small emergency cushion first. If you have zero safety net at all, a very small buffer, even a few $100s, should come before the debt sprint. But if you already have some cushion, redirecting extra cash toward high-interest debt for 90 days is usually one of the highest return moves you can make, because guaranteed interest savings often beat what you'd earn, leaving that same money sitting in a low-interest savings account. So let's recap the 90-day plan. First, get the real number, every balance, every rate, every minimum payment written down clearly. Second, pick one method, Avalanche or Snowball, and commit fully instead of splitting your effort. Third, free up extra payment capacity through temporary cuts and one income boost. Fourth, automate that extra payment the moment money arrives. And fifth, protect your progress by treating your Target card as untouchable for new charges during the sprint. Because here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Debt doesn't usually disappear because of one big lucky break. It disappears because of 90 focused days where you stopped spreading thin effort across everything and instead attacked one clear target with everything you had. The math was never actually the hardest part. The focus was. If this video helped you see a real path out of credit card debt, make sure to hit subscribe. And I'm curious, if you started your own 90-day sprint today, which card would you attack first? Let me know in the comments because naming it is usually the first real step toward actually beating it.